Welcome back to this episode on emotional and social health. In the previous episode, we saw certain examples on which to apply this analytical technique. In this present episode, we shall see how does this change come about? What is the mechanism? What are the problems encountered? And how to tackle them? When we shift from the unrealistic belief to the realistic belief, this transformation takes place in two ways. One is replacement cleansing, the other is dilution cleansing. Suppose we have a glass of water which is muddy and you want clean water, then what do?
Through that water.
You
Replace the-
throw out that water and take in clean water. This is replacement cleansing. But you don't throw out that muddy water and keep on filling fresh water in it, then that would be dilution cleansing. So in replacement cleansing, we remove the unrealistic beliefs and accept the realistic beliefs. In dilution cleansing, we retain the unrealistic beliefs but keep on adding the realistic belief. It is a longer process. And towards the end, we are not very sure whether any impurity is still left behind. So better would be the replacement cleansing, but one has to choose the type of method that suits oneself. When we are changing from our old unrealistic beliefs to the new realistic beliefs, the transition process itself goes through 3 stages. What I have told you is just mere information. Just information does not result in any implementation. Many times people complain that we have attended so many lectures, we have attended so many discourses, we have read so many books, and yet it doesn't stick. Why? Because they have not progressed beyond information level. So what is the next level? The next level is accepting the information as true, believing in it. And this is accompanied with forcible implementation. Why force? 2 reasons. One, you are acquiring something new and therefore it takes effort on your part. And 2, the old habits die hard. You are habituated to behave on the basis of your earlier unrealistic beliefs. To overcome that, you will have to use force. And when we repeatedly keep on practicing this forcible implementation, we reach the 3rd stage of wisdom, where now the information of the first stage has become an integral part of yourself. It is sort of say your second nature. And that brings about spontaneous implementation. That you don't even have to put effort. It comes naturally to you. Let me explain this with an analogy. That you want to learn some new skill. Maybe you want to learn how to drive a car, or you want to operate the computer, or you want to learn cooking. Then what do? You go to the respective classes. You go to the motor driving school or to the cookery class or to a computer institute. There, the instructor gives you information. Say you want to learn motor driving, so you go to the motor driving school and the instructor tells you that this is called steering wheel, this is called brake, this is called clutch, this is the gear, this is the accelerator. Now what do? He has given you all the information. You have learned driving? No.
To implement it.
You have to first accept what he's saying.
Yeah.
If you say, who told you this is brake? Then you don't progress. Then you remain there. So first you'll have to accept what he says and act on it. You'll have to sit at the steering wheel and do whatever he tells you to do. That time it's going to be a little difficult because you're new to it. If somebody next to you is talking, you'll ask him to shut up because I can't concentrate.
So, at that acceptance level, it may also happen that you end up accepting what shouldn't be accepted. Something wrong. Like,
So if you have a wrong instructor, you'll accept that also. Of course.
So that is very important. Like what you accept is what.
Not at that level.
No?
After you have mastered it.
Achha. When you're
Now, on the basis of your personal experience, you are able to refute what you were told.
On the basis of
Not before that.
Yeah. You have to experience it.
You may make necessary changes, but based on your experience. So now, once you keep on practicing what is being instructed to you, you master it. And now, you can drive very smoothly. You don't have to think over it. It has become a part and parcel of you. Let's take another analogy. So suppose you have a plate of food. You and the food are separate. You may drop the food. Somebody may snatch the food from you. It's not a part of you. Sometimes, if you don't like the food, you may refuse to ingest it. Then, the acceptance is not there, the implementation is not. But, now you accept the food, you put it in your mouth, you chew it and you swallow it. This is what you have done. Now that food which you have ingested is digested, absorbed, assimilated. Now you can't differentiate that food from your body. You can't say where is the bread and where is the curry and where is the vegetable. It's a part of you. So, what is told in the information level has to be accepted, practiced upon and integrated in you. Then the transition becomes complete. Now, this process also takes time. It will not come about overnight. Let us say a person is malnourished because he is taking only junk food and he comes to you for advice. What will you tell him? Give up the junk food and take this nutritious food. But he doesn't like the nutritious food, so he refuses to. Then what has happened? He has resisted the change in him. The more you resist, the more the delay. This can be overcome if you realize the importance of the nutritious food. You ingest the nutritious food once and come back and say, hey, you were saying so many big things. Nothing happened. What will you say?
It takes time.
It takes time. Keep it up. Carry it on. And after a few months, you shall see the result. This is the procedural delay. So even when you are shifting, when you are imbibing the information and working on it, the results will take some time. Don't be disappointed. Don't be in a hurry to change. Don't feel bad that I am no better. It'll come. Wait, have patience. Also, in this transition, there are several obstacles. Let me talk a little on that. Not to scare you, but to prepare you to be able to detect it and deal with it. One problem that comes is internal conflict. Conflict between your old unrealistic beliefs and your new realistic beliefs. there is a tussle. Very often you are attracted to your old self and are therefore not able to make progress. But keep at it. Keep going. It is an uphill course during the first half of the transition process. But then later on, it's a downhill course, a smooth sailing.
So this is the stage where you have to force.
Yes. The second is the external conflict between you and your erstwhile companions. When a drunkard wants to give up alcohol, who will prevent him?
His friends.
His friend. Suppose he is not to be seen at the tavern, then the erstwhile companions is going to reach his home to find out the cause of his absence. And if he tells them that I have decided to give up drinking, what will they say?
They'll persuade him.
They will pay for him.
Ah. They will try to dissuade him from giving it up. Now, if you give in, then you are not going to get out of it. So this has happened. You have to be firm that you want to transit yourself from the old beliefs to the new realistic beliefs.
To the time frame, has anybody, come up with any time frame? Like generally, like in Reiki and all, they say you have to do it for 21 days. Some people say 1 month.
Sure. The results of sincere efforts come about in 3 to 6 months. Sincere efforts.
On a habit.
Spontaneous implementation. You can still have it shortened. I have seen earlier results in 1 month, but in that the subject is very much primed. It required only a little bit of exposure and they got it. Also, even during the process, there is a spontaneous recovery. Because what are we doing ultimately in changing from the unrealistic belief to the realistic beliefs? We are unlearning the old unrealistic beliefs.
Tough job you're doing.
It's a tough job. So the graph of unlearning is not like this. It is like this. And in between there are spontaneous recoveries. Don't be disheartened by that. That is bound to happen. It's a process. But as you keep at it, it will ultimately go. How long it takes depends upon the sincerity of your efforts.
The more sincere you are.
The third obstacle that comes is loss of confidence. When you change your home or when you change your office, it takes some time for you to settle in the new place. At the old home, you could find anything blindfolded. But in the new home, it takes time to find what you want. Would you therefore go back to the old home?
No.
You will also settle in the new place. So this lack of confidence is temporary. When you firmly held on to the unrealistic beliefs, you were cocksure, this is right. But when you have left it and are transiting to the realistic belief, that surety is gone. But it will be regained once you settle on the realistic beliefs. And this time on the right footing. So, let this talk not remain a talk. Hope you make use of it, implement it, and benefit from it. So what we talked about in this section of emotional and social health does not apply to certain conditions which we are going to see in the next section on mental health.